Well, Micky, two wins in the space of a few days in very different ways, but nonetheless very important for you.
It's always important to get results. We always say that's the be all and end all. What we try and do now is try and keep the consistency in the way that we're performing, to try and give a good chance of keep getting results. But like we keep saying, we're still working with a very young squad, and we just have to try and find that consistency, and we know what they're capable of. We've all seen that now, and it's just about finding the consistency in the jobs that they do for the team, so that we can keep moving things forward.
It's not easy when you concede a very late equaliser in a game, whatever the competition is, and the guys have to keep their heads up for those penalties, don't they?
Yeah, because that can be a massive disappointment. Of course it can, when you've lost a game, haven't won a game so late in the day, when really you believe you have the victory in your hands, and to lose that can be psychologically can be a big blow to you. But to be fair to the players, they're taking penalties then into the Bolton end. They showed great focus and only focused on the jobs that was ahead, and were able to go and win the penalty shootout. So the credit to them for that, and the goalkeeper obviously Matt makes a good save for us. So no, it was a thoroughly deserved victory. It would be that I would always be very fair and say, but we certainly deserved to win the game.
And coming as it did after an important away win at Salford, and you're probably sick to death of the conversation about home and away form. You got the win and a clean sheet as well. Yeah,
but I'd be forced to say we haven't cured anything yet. We have to. We know what the formula is now, don't we? We know that the players are capable of that, and now, like I say, we have to just go out and execute that way of playing in order to try and keep winning games. I believe it was all about for this group about learning about mentality and focusing on jobs and making sure that you're dogged and determined to try and carry them out, and no matter what's happening in the game, don't lose your focus. So it was all mentality stuff, because we all know they can play. They wouldn't be here if they couldn't play football. So it was about that, and now it's just about us keeping reminding them and them learning that that's the only way now to perform in order to get results away from home and at home as well.
Yeah, and they know they can do it now, and you can go into that dressing room at Walsall, another away game, similar kind of team in terms of where they are in the league, and say, you've done it once, go out and do it again.
Well, it should be as easy as that, shouldn't it? And if it was, we'd certainly all be in a better place, but they're young players, and you just have to get them more streetwise and more football league savvy, if you like, in order that they're able to go out there and understand that they are in charge of themselves, and they can go and play and think the way that they need to do in order to try and get results. But that's part of it here. My job here is to develop players, and I'll be there to try and keep reminding them of that, and help them on their way to improve as players and improve their careers and improve the results for Tranmere.
What of Walsall, your next challenge now? I mean, they've been on a tricky little run of late, but I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, or whether you read it into that, or just expect a really tough game.
I think we're on a tricky little run ourselves, but to be fair, we're still trying to fix ourselves without being able to go and comment on anybody else. No, we'll comment. We'll only think about ourselves. We need to get consistent. We know now what it takes for this team to have to do in order to try and get results. It's just about us now finding consistency that, and I think if we do that more or most of the time, then we'll be fine. So if we can just get that right, we'll get results in this league. So we'll just do that. We'll deal with what we can control, and that'll be us. And we know it's going to be tough, and we know we're going to have to beat our best again. We know all about that. It's always a tough place to go, and we kind of lost to a penalty last season, which was disappointing for us. So we'll go down there and remind the lads of how difficult it is. There's a few new ones now, and we'll go down there and try and get a result in what will be undoubtedly a tough game.
What will help is getting all your players back fit again, and Kieran, in just to pick out one player there, got a little run out at Salford and then got 45 minutes in midweek. How important is that for him and for you?
Well, huge, and it's huge that we're patient as well, and we don't force it. He's not played any football, and he's missed a hell of a lot of pre-season, so we'll see where we think he is in the next couple of days, and if we believe it's right for him to play more in the game or start the game, then we'll do that, because we know how important a player is to us. Like I keep saying, I think he's one of the best players in the league, so it's important that we get him back, but it's important we get him back for the long term and we don't try and force something and get him injured again, because that's what you run the risk of if you try and force things, because of the energy levels that's needed to win games, and the exertion that's needed. You can sort of force them into a place but they're not ready to be yet, but we'll have a look at that and we'll see what he's up to.
And any changes to this weekend squad, ins or outs?
We can't, the window's closed, so we're done.
No, in terms of injuries?
Jameson is back in training, Robinson's back in training, so they can come back into the group. They get through training today, so they can come back into things again. Probably not match fit yet, probably a wee bit behind where Kieran is, but certainly they could come along and if needed play some part in the game and be up from the bench, and we'll just keep building on their fitness to get them ready again. I know it's frustrating for everybody that I say this, but it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, we're human beings, and we have to work on their fitness and get them ready again, so that we can sustain the availability, if you like, for the group by making sure we don't force things.
Just one final question. We were talking to Dinell earlier, and he's a player who's come up from Southampton, long way from home, trying to settle in the area, and these are the kind of things that we kind of forget sometimes when a young player is trying to make their way in the game in a new environment. Have you been pleased with what you've seen from him so far?
I think he's been brilliant. I think he's been everything we've ever needed, and that's real high praise, because we've had some good centre backs here, but to find players like him isn't easy. They don't just come in a chart. Here's chart 1 to 10 and which one can you get. It's not like that. There's a lot of variables involved, and like you say, he's come from the other end of the country, and then you've got to hope that he can hit the ground running, playing the way that we play, and able to do the things that we need him to do, and he has. He's been brilliant. Now we have to keep him available, keep pushing him forward, keep making him better for us and for Southampton, and enjoy having him here. You've got to enjoy having these types of players here, and be grateful that we have him here, because I think he is that good. So we look forward to watching him progress. Look forward to him. He will have ups and downs. He's a young player, but his attitude to football is fantastic. He attacks everything. Sometimes you've got to rein him in a little bit, because he thinks he can go and win everything, but that'll be part of his development, and that's why he's here. But we're certainly very, very pleased to have him here, and really delighted with his performances so far, and I'm looking forward and I'm excited about what we can expect from him in the future, as with all of the young players that are here. I can see them growing, I see them getting better every day. In training today, I see more than what we did in day one that we had with them, so they're making progress now. As I say, it's about consistency, it's about making sure that they get there and they think properly and make good decisions, because that's the biggest thing in football, and then go out and execute it in a game of football. So no, it's looking very promising for the future.